Ooh, there it goes.
Oh, it looks like we're alive. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Narik Chase channel. In this video, episode 156 of Breaking the Base. Can you believe we on episode 156?
156. It seems just yesterday we started, like in the early, I don't know, 30s.
Yeah, hey, time is sitting here moving, and for those who haven't checked out the website, go check out the website. I've uploaded, or at least put the link to these Breaking the Base on the website. So not only do you get great content of us doing videos, there's a lot of written content as well. So don't forget to check out the website, narikchase.com.
So exciting.
Yeah. I'm messing with Madam B over here. Look, we got a full panel today. We got KP scene, we got Madam B on the scene, and of course, you got NC on the scene. Oh,
that don't even sound right.
MBKPNC. It's a new group.
Great discussion today. We are going to be talking about one of I guess you could say, I don't want to say godfathers of film, film now.
Not really.
No.
No, not really.
You could say maybe of the eccentric slash, I don't know.
Yeah, I go with eccentric.
Yeah, I think eccentric really works well.
We're talking about Tim Burton, and Tim Burton kind of reminds me of, what's the guy that did Hellboy?
Ron Perlman?
No, the director. Pan's Labyrinth, that guy.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me. It's like they're in that.
Yeah. That same weird genre of
like
one's more classic movie monster style, and then the other one's more
dark fantasy. Yeah, like dark
fantasy type.
Yeah. So yes, guys, in this one we're going to be talking about the best and worst Tim Burton films. Now, what we mean specifically is one he specifically directed, because he's had his hand in a lot of movies. But
some you didn't even know he was in.
Yeah. And and Madam B pointed out to me, I didn't even realize it. I actually thought he made The Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, I thought he actually directed it, but he actually produced it.
Well, it was his idea.
Who directed it? Just to see.
Un momento, por favor. Director Henry Selick.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I'm gonna look him up, or probably forget. I hope not. Look him up right quick.
But Danny Elfman, Paul Rubens, many people were the voice in that movies. Danny Elfman was actually the one singing. That's just pretty cool.
He like one of them dudes from what is that? Devil's Rejects.
Wow. Talk about this man. He doing all this. He does a lot of stop motion.
Yeah, Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline.
Yeah, you know.
Frankenweenie.
There
was some weird movie way back. Well, I don't even know. I've never really even noticed it, but Hansel and Gretel. But it's like some weird animated looking thing.
Cool.
But I didn't know he did Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That's my movie.
I did not have any clue, because it just does not ring Tim Burton to me. It's weird, but it just doesn't ring it.
It feels like
no, it doesn't.
It feels like a fantasy type, but it's not dark fantasy.
Yeah, it's not dark except for Large Marge. That brief moment, but
everything else is like pretty much dark.
Yeah, I mean, we look at all these other movies, there's some comedies too. I mean, you got, Mars Attacks. I guess you could consider Charlie and Chocolate Factory kind of borderline. But it's just, I just did not realize he did Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure.
Hey, that is my movie. I still like this one of movies. Like, I watched it when I was a kid and I loved it.
Yeah.
And then, like, now I can still sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus, that's why I learned that the stars at night are big and bright. That's why I first heard it.
Deep in the heart of Texas. I guess you really are there. Front of the Alamo. That was great.
That's still my movie. That's still my movie.
Oh, Changing Time Action. Oh, 9 is good too. I like. Most of the movies he's got, I like.
Yeah, I've seen Beetlejuice plenty of times.
Love Beetlejuice.
All right, now what is your favorite Tim Burton one? Like, if you could think of like right off the bat. In fact, to make it a little bit easier, make it 2.
Oh man, that's rough. There's a lot I like.
Well, for me, seeing as how right now, I know now he didn't direct The Nightmare Before Christmas, because that's what I was gonna say, because that was like the first actually Tim Burton movie I've seen, I think. But I would have to pick of what I've seen and he's directed, Sweeney Todd and
Benjamin Barker.
Sweeney Todd and Dark Shadows.
Oh.
Is there a particular reason or a particular actor? Which, if you don't notice, for those who don't know, Tim Burton has made a lot of films with Johnny Depp.
Hello, Bonnie Carter.
Yeah, but and I want to say Michael Keaton, but he was only in the Batman. He did Beetlejuice, did the Batman.
Oh no, I'm sorry, he did 3 with Keaton. He did 2 Batmans and a Beetlejuice.
But he did a whole bunch of them with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter.
It's like every other movie he did is either Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, or both.
It was Sleepy Hollows one with Johnny Depp, Planet of the Apes, Helena Bonham Carter, Charlie the Chocolate Factory, both of them.
Yep.
I think Corpse Bride was both of them.
Corpse Bride was both.
Dark Shadows was both.
Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland was both. Sweeney Todd was both.
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
What was the other one? You missed him. Ed Wood.
I didn't see Ed Wood. What was that about?
That's Johnny Depp. It was about a weird producer back in the 50s, I think. I was trying to remember his name. Director Ed Wood, who was played by Johnny Depp, and working with Bela Lugosi in the classic horror movies and sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of a contribution to Ed Wood about like all the low crazy in movies and low budget movies of the horror genre.
Ooh, okay.
It's kind of trippy if you watch it. It's pretty wild. Beetlejuice 2.
I've heard they've been talking about doing the Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
No date yet though.
I'm not sure how Beetlejuice 2 would actually go. I mean, I would like to see Michael Keaton kind of return to the role, but it's been like 30 years.
At least.
So it's like, can there be like a Beetlejuice 2? And if it is it going to be about the original cast? Is it going to be, something totally new? Is it going to be some reference towards the TV series, which was awesome?
Beetlejuice, right?
I mean, aside from the show, which the show was awesome.
No, I'm talking about like there's only the character Beetlejuice is like he doesn't have like anything to go on, like friends or anything like that. It's just him. So maybe.
But that's why I was like,
the second should focus on him, and I don't know.
But that's why I was like, well, are they going to do like what they did with the show? Because in the movie, he was. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Now that I think about it, I know he was trying to marry that girl for a specific reason. He was trying to get close to that girl for a specific reason, and he was kind of like the antagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
But in the show, they were like friends, and she would visit him in this weird afterlife.
Yeah, the afterworld.
Yeah,
all the doors.
Weird. But I did like those giant worms. That was like one of the few things. Yeah, he's one of the few things he was afraid of.
Well, if you had a sandworm come after you, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Have you ever seen Dune?
Yeah. They made giant worms just creepy.
Lots of teeth and very painful.
Yes. What they say that the worm creature of Star Wars. Well, you be digested.
Oh, the Sarlacc.
Yeah, like you be digested for 1,000 years. You're like, wow,
that blows for you. For you, big time.
But yeah, if I could name two movies that are like my favorites, I've already said Pee Wee's Big Adventure as one, but my other one is uh Sleepy Hollow.
Okay, okay.
I like it. It's got that goth theme to it. It's got that old school feel to it. It's got the horror. It's got the dark fantasy feel to it.
Mm.
And that's, in fact, Sleepy Hollow is one of my all-time favorite like horror movies.
Intrigue.
Intrigue.
I've always caught the movie like, you know, when you always like, oh, there's nothing on TV, let me see what's on, and then you always catch like the same scene every time.
That's how it was with Wreck-It Ralph. Every time I see the movies, I always at the part, like the halfway point of the movie, no matter what. But I really enjoy that one. It gives, you know, because Johnny Depp does like the weird, kind of weirdish kind of acting in it.
Yeah, he's
but
crazy weird.
but it's a little bit more grounded. So, because you know, I always get on Johnny Depp for every time he plays his character, it's got to be this eccentric character.
Yeah. You know, it much follows life like every other character we see, especially in the Marvel universe, Iron Man particularly.
Yeah.
See, yeah. All right, so what about you, Kim? What about your top two?
I'm going to throw one you may or may not have seen, but I really liked it. It was called Big Fish.
Yep, I didn't see that one.
That is actually one of the better. I mean, I like all the other style movies, but that one it was just a cool movie. It was just different, weird, but it hit a base with me and the way the story was told. So I like Big Fish, definitely.
And
I'm kind of torn because, you know, I liked the Batmans.
wait, it ain't Helena Bonham Carter married to him?
She was with him for about 10, 11 years, something like that.
Yeah.
They were never married, though.
They were like kind of partners.
They're shacked up.
Okay. And yeah, Steven Spielberg is kind of like that too. Where he's got like a little bit dark fantasy.
Mm.
Sometimes. It just depends on his mood, I think.
But I really like his interpretation, Tim Burton's interpretation of a lot of things. I like his interpretation of Batman, his interpretation of Alice in Wonderland, his interpretation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Even though a lot of people didn't like that movie,
I am one of them people.
I liked it.
I did not like the Wonka character whatsoever. It just bothered me. It kind of disturbed me at some points.
he was really eccentric. I would admit, if there was one thing about the movie that probably could have been like, okay, Johnny Depp, don't play Johnny Depp in this movie. I could probably say maybe his character. But if you're going into the magical realm thing, he did a great job of like establishing like this whole this factory is like this like different world.
The world of Willy Wonka was great.
Yeah.
The Wonka character was my problem.
Oh yeah, it was the way his father treated him and his mouth and it was
It was just what the heck?
It was like, okay, and you know this from your childhood. He's thinking about this all the time now, and you want to entertain little kids. You want to bring kids to the factory, and you got this darkness behind you.
Yep, and then you got all these like little Oompa Loompas running around the place. What's up with that?
I'm sorry, I have to say this. I love the soundtrack in this movie. I like it better than the older one. I'm sorry. I love the soundtrack.
It had its moments. I'm not going to disagree. That one's pretty decent.
2 inch all day long. Oh, that went ham. That's what I ain't gonna lie. Like I do like the musical ones and stuff. I downloaded a couple of them too. I had to I need to hey, I gotta chill out a little bit. These songs a little bit too good for me.
Wow.
Yeah, but everybody was watching this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and we was waiting for that one scene from him to turn from Willy Wonka to Sweeney Todd, that boy. But he never did in the film.
He's eating the children. Oh.
Okay, and what about since you did mention Sweeney Todd, Tim Burton's take on that?
I liked it. Like you said, it had that same like gothic look and feel to it.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say gothic. It was. No, it was kind of dark, and the way the city looked and how he came up with all of that, I wouldn't say gothic. I would just say
I'd say gothic because if you think about his track record, look at Beetlejuice. It had a gothic thing setting to it.
yes, because the
Batman,
girl was kind of
Batman. Both Batman movies had like this gothic neo noir setting to it.
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, same
well,
thing.
Oh,
yeah,
that's also got the same. Let me make sure before I speak
and all
here.
that.
I believe.
But I'm not saying like the whole movie was just like okay.
No, it was dark the way it was. I wouldn't say a goth feel. I would. You
gothic.
might, but I would.
Okay, all right. Don't go Sweeney Todd on me, all right?
Back
Yeah, put that razor away. But
up.
I liked it, and of course, Sweeney Todd ain't that actually something that happened?
There's some.
It's either a story
validity
or it's
to it.
actually something that actually happened.
What was a story that was passed along? I'm trying to remember the whole
Any versions.
um,
Yeah, I
story
remember
about.
something about like a theater play or something.
It
Where
was a
someone,
musical.
yeah, I said theater.
It was a 1979 musical with the same name, with the Victorian style, talking about Sweeney Todd and a serial killer who murders his customers, and then the lady who lived downstairs who would make the meat pies.
hmm Wait, I want to know the Sweeney Todd, was he just killing random people or was he specifically targeting people? Now I know he wanted that one guy.
Whoever came in his shop.
It was pretty much a serial killer. He didn't really say with what though.
Whoever came in his shop. And the only reason why he didn't kill that one family in the movie was because they had a baby with them. That was funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I like seeing Johnny Depp in like a role like that. Uh, because he's like he can portray like all right good guys, but he seems like if he's gonna go with the whole eccentric Johnny Depp thing, he comes out better as a bad guy.
I also like the musical that they put to that. I really do. I've not got all the songs.
hmm And he's actually a pretty good singer.
Yeah. Crybaby. Oh, have you heard it?
No,
Have you watched it?
no,
Do you want to watch it?
no. You knew that was coming. You know what surprised me? He directed Mars Attacks.
I've never seen
You never see Mars Attacks?
it. Mm-mm.
Wow. Wow. Mars Attacks is a freaking awesome movie. Now it freaked me out when I was watching it, but and you know how we talking about the whole dark fantasy bit? Yeah, this is as far as from it as they got. And it was actually, Martians attacking the planet. They're actually attacking. And I did like the way that now you can say the CGI does not hold up because they were even kind of cartoonish back then the way they looked, but it's still like a pretty cool like sci-fi, like a sci-fi movie. So I could say I actually enjoyed Mars Attacks, and I think that it was actually a pretty cool like step, a different from what he's normally known for. Because like I say, normally known for dark fantasy type settings, which is why Batman was such a good movie, and Batman Returns, because he was able to put that dark fantasy element to it while keeping true to the neo noir setting of the comics.
Okay.
So that's why I still like I like Batman Returns, even though Batman Returns is kind of like too dark fantasy, but the first Batman, even though it's cartoonish or comic booky or whatever, feels more grounded a little bit. Just remember when we were talking about Catwoman, one of the things we had said about Catwoman was in the film it didn't make any sense for her to actually turn into this super villain all of a sudden, because that's what she did.
Right.
And kind of like the Penguin too, is like your motivation was kind of stupid, and how you like the way he presents things, and like in that film, like okay, Penguin is just like really deformed man that's I guess looks like a bird, even though he does not look like a bird. But like with him bringing in the penguins with the missiles and stuff, I was like, yeah, that's kind of but it fits into his old dark fantasy realm type feel,
Okay.
especially the way it's presented with like the music and stuff.
Hmm.
But that's why I like Batman Returns.
So, what do you think about Dumbo? Seeing as how it's being directed by Tim Burton, now you think it'll stand up to the Disney version or anything that Disney is coming out with now?
I don't know, because me personally, Dumbo, the the films where it's mostly like human characters and some of the more anthropomorphic characters, I can understand them making a live adaptation for, but Dumbo, like I don't understand. I don't think Dumbo is like a movie that should be like. No, I don't want to say I don't think it should because I don't like limiting myself in this bubble, but I don't think it's a film that's like necessarily important to throw out in live action. Now, if it's more like an animated one, fine.
Mm.
But I guess I could see Tim Burton being able to do it. But I don't know. I want to see how they're going to make it compelling. The cartoon was like okay, but I don't I don't see it particularly being it. Like
Okay.
off the rip. Oh, I guess Ken is in the middle of something. He'll come back on when it's ready.
Okay. So I can see that, but I'm just like, do you think it'll do okay with even with the it's supposed to be coming out in 2019 with the Lion King, Aladdin, all that is that's done by Disney, right? Directed by other people, right?
hmm
So what I was like, how would Dumbo compare?
The only reason that they're putting out the only reason that this film would be any good in the slightest is because it's riding the backs of other. Oh man, he can hear me, but he can't speak to him. I had to invite him again. But yeah, even if it is directed by Tim Burton, I don't see how that this movie is going to be any. I don't know. I don't have any faith in it because it's like everything else was an interesting. Everything else was like popular and still has popularity to it, and it has a better story. Because honestly, who cares about Dumbo now?
I mean,
I'm
but I
sorry.
mean, kids, used to watch it. I just didn't see Tim Burton doing. That's all.
I don't see. I don't know. I don't know. I only the last thing here he's done that I've seen was Frankenweenie, and Frankenweenie was weird, but it was interesting. It was an interesting concept, and it fit into his whole Tim Burton esque. Like, I want Tim Burton to make a cinematic universe. That's what I want.
He's already starting to try to do it.
Yeah, put the Nightmare Before Christmas in with Corpse Bride in with Frankenweenie, and
And Coraline and
yeah,
a couple others.
hook all that up. Why not? Hook it on up. I would like to see that.
That would be good. I
Tim
mean,
Burton need to come out with his own freaking game.
everybody else is
Well,
doing
he's
it.
got his own list of actors. I mean, heck, aside from most of the, like very few other people ever make it into a Tim Burton movie, except Mars Attacks. Mars Attacks, I
Yeah.
think, had the widest group of people in it. But even you're talking
Yeah.
Dumbo a little earlier. We got Eva Green, who was in one of his movies. Michael
Mrs.
Keaton
Pembroke.
was in one of the movies with Batman. So coming into the Disney movie live action, and I think it's all part of that big just Mulan, Aladdin, Dumbo, Cinderella,
Only
Beauty and
reason
the Beast, all the live action
is like
series.
the only reason Dumbo is even being made is, and I'm cool. I'm cool with Tim Burton doing it, but because he's good with like the presentation of things. The only reason is because that right there is riding what everything else is called. If there's a live action Lion
I could
King,
probably
Oh yeah,
understand
Lion King's coming out next year.
yeah. So like if they says a live adaptation of Lion King come out, yeah, you're gonna see that.
yeah, because Dumbo, he's old. No, Disney didn't think of it. Like, what? No,
No,
Dumbo.
I'm not saying it's old. It's just
No, I'm just
like the
saying
story.
it's not. I understand what you're saying. It's not as good as the Lion King or Aladdin.
Yeah. So man, I think he'll do a decent job. But I just don't see my man. That was an awesome That movie was awesome. Let me ask y'all this, and I already said I liked his the way he does it, gives things his vision. Planet of the Apes.
I was just gonna ask you that. I told you
See, that was I was thinking about that earlier too.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it. So y'all two are gonna have to.
I think costuming wise,
Like the look of it, yeah.
Yeah, the look was badass.
Like the
but the story blew chunks.
If it had like the story, yeah, I could kind of get behind the story. Like honestly, I never got behind the original premise of it, the original story. Because
you had to watch like all 5 of those movies to even get the whole concept. You had to go like when you watch the revised Planet of the Apes, the animated version or live animated that was just done. That one teams it up better.
Yes,
with everything, and it makes sense with the Planet of the Apes that he did. You're jumping right into the middle of a storyline, and it throws you completely off because if you had never seen Planet of the Apes before, like the 1970s and 60s version, then you would have been completely lost. Like, what the heck happened and why is it happening? It wouldn't make any sense to you whatsoever.
That's what I like. Like I said, I would agree. I did like the reboot because it told the story a little bit better than the original.
Absolutely, because you had to watch the last movie of the Planet of the Apes, which was Battle for the Planet of the Apes, to understand what the movies were all about to begin with. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what they did in the remakes, the more recent remakes. That's what they did with the story when you learned about the gas and their eyes are turning green and becoming more intelligent, et cetera, and Caesar and all them other characters that developed that story. Then it made sense, and that's one plus that they did with that series.
Yes, exactly.
But again, if you watch this version visually, it looks awesome.
Yes.
Oh man, the gorilla. I mean, just costuming wise was just awesome.
I love the way like I guess they did a great job of sitting down and developing like maybe not. I'm not gonna say the character. I like the 8 characters.
They were good. They were very well. I mean, they were great looking, especially Charlton Heston.
I love like the society. Like they were playing games there. They had politics.
Yes, they had developed society off of humans, but made it different in their own way.
I would say like right as far as the setup and the apes and everything. And I always hated how in the original one, there was like 3 groups. There was the chimps, the orangutans, and the gorillas.
Correct.
And they all wore the same thing. So you knew who they were. All the gorillas wore the purple, and it was always the military.
They were the military.
And
orangutans were your scientists.
And then the chimps.
I'm sorry, they were your politicians.
Yeah.
And then chimpanzees were your scientists.
Yeah, I think they were scientists and politicians. But and then like the chimps was everything else. But I like in his version, like all of them were different. Even if they were like the gorillas and stuff, they even looked different.
Yeah, they had different armor. Like can't think of his name at the moment. The lead guy in the apes, his armor had the detail on his armor. You can see the 2 monkeys bumping fists in there and setting up all the story of the Planet of the Apes was in his armor.
And yep, I like their abilities and stuff. Like when you know how they show the gorilla kind of like bump his chest and then just go ham. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got some of that in there too. The way they ran, like they were running on all 4s and they were jumping super high and stuff. Like I like that. I'm sorry, I enjoy that.
That was cool, but they just really had a weak story execution. Just wasn't working.
I think it's because it was so fast. Like the movie, if it would have took more time, if it would have took like a week to establish the entire story, then it'd be like cool. But it's like the story happens like within a day, like a day or 2. So you rush it. Everything's rushing. Because like if you think about it, they were talking about what was the guy name? What's the dude that played the main character?
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. If you think about it, they were saying there was like a human that defied the apes. But it's like, how? He hadn't even been there but one day.
Yeah, and it's spread all over the place, and they don't even have cell phones.
So it's like, if it was like over a period like a week or like a month, and you can establish how he was learning about it and all of this stuff, then fine. Like even how they was using humans as like slaves and stuff, and all of that. And what my favorite character in the entire freaking movie was Helena Bonham Carter's character.
Yep, the little chimpanzee.
Mm-hmm. She was awesome. They had a game. Oh yeah, they did have a game. They don't need to do that no more. But yeah, that movie just looked freaking awesome. What about? Sorry about that. Have you seen the Alice in Wonderland? You ain't seen it.
Honey.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
What did you think about it?
I think it was pretty good visually. Story-wise, it was a little different than the original. But, I mean, I think it was actually more closer to the book anyway.
It's actually, honestly, one of my favorite, like, one of my favorite films. And you're right, it's a weird movie. But like I said, it goes back to how I say Tim Burton just has this interesting vision for everything that he's.
The original one was kind of weird anyway, is basically written on acid anyway, or opium. So you take Tim Burton's oddity and the original author's content and mix them together, and that's what you get.
That's what you get.
That's what it gets.
But do you think it works for everything? Like, if you could say he had a bad movie, what would it be?
Bad movie? Well, Willy Wonka to me would have been bad.
And then
I really won't watch it again. To me, that's bad.
I've seen almost all of his movies.
Yeah.
So have I. I didn't realize how many I had actually watched.
Only one I ain't seen was Ed Wood, Big Fish, Big Eyes.
I haven't seen that
Big
one.
Eyes is on Netflix, I think.
Dumbo and Mrs. Pettigrew, which
that's actually pretty good.
It is.
Miss Pettigreen's
Home for
that movie. That one's actually pretty good. It's a different twist. It's got Samuel Jackson and a bunch of other folks in it. It's pretty cool.
I've only wanted to see that because Evergreen was in it, and I like Samuel Jackson. But
it's a very interesting. They could actually, I think it's a trilogy or 4 books maybe of the storyline, but it's actually pretty cool. Think of it along the lines of not Dark Shadows. What would be the closest match to that one?
Light Shadows.
I don't.
That's pretty
I'm trying to think of one it would compare with, but
yeah, I can't really find a bad.
It's pretty good though. You'll enjoy it.
It seems like I'm trying. Yeah, you're right. It's like one of those like kids in a weird setting type films. I would say Harry Potter a little bit. Harry Potter's a bit too big to say that. What movie would you say? I don't know. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
But do you have a bad movie? I can't think of one.
Honestly, I really can't either.
See, that's why I told you.
Wow. Oh, I think his mic went out again. He'll let me know if he went out again or not. Can't hear you, Ken. I think it did. I got you, buddy. Let me go ahead and invite him out. Also, and I want to go back to my PB's Big Adventure. The reason why I really like that, because I never really I used to watch the show back in the day, and I liked it. And I think that was the first good film that he had came into. But which one do you think is that? Which one do you think he's better known for? His original works or the remakes? Because if you think about it, I think Beetlejuice was an original idea. Edward Scissorhands' original idea. Not Sleepy Hollow. Corpse Bride, I believe, was an original idea, although it probably was based off some story. Then you got Frankie Weenie. But you think about it, he did Batman. He did Sleepy Hollow, Planet of the Apes, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Sweeney Todd, Alice in Wonderland, Dark Shadows. Which, what do you think about Dark Shadows?
I liked it. When I first seen it, Johnny Depp. I mean, so I kept thinking it was gonna be good, and it turned out to be pretty all right to me. But the whole dark world thing. So Dark World. Vampires, Dark World.
I didn't see that.
You ain't seen Dark Shadows?
No, I thought you said Dark World. I was like Dark Shadows.
Yeah, dark. It was like a Dark World thing.
Oh. Oh, he back. He back.
Not cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Stop bumping.
My wireless adapter in this desktop I'm using is bopped out on me twice now. Although I can still hear you, it like kills everything else.
I'm sitting here on the diatribe, and all of a sudden I was like, wait, I don't hear Ken.
If you're like,
all I hear is a meow, 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 meow. Ken, meow, 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 meow.
meow, 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 meow.
I was asking her, what did you think about Dark Shadows?
I think it was kind of interesting. I'd seen the original series, and then I kind of watched the rebooted series, and then saw this version. I mean, it had its moments. It was pretty funny. I kept up with it. Of course, you got the oddity and extreme character of, Dark Shadows itself. I was trying to think of his character's name at the moment. Johnny Depp's character. Artemis, yeah.
Barnabas Collins.
And you had this like whole weird dysfunctional family, 70s. He comes back after a couple hundred years of being locked away. And I thought it was fun. I enjoy watching it. I'll watch it over and over again. I don't feel like as, boring or anything like that. But
I was
kind of hoping there would be a sequel because it kind of left off on
yeah, exactly. I was kind of expecting that myself, but I guess that'll never happen.
I watched another YouTuber review the original Dark Shadows, and I like Dark Shadows because I'd never seen the television series, but I liked it because it was like, okay, it was a fun dark comedy.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp doing and I must admit, when I went back and listened to her explain what Dark Shadows was and how different the movie is from the television series, I'm like,
yeah,
I kind of wish I could have saw something more closely adapted to the television series.
I think they were trying to step out of that. I mean, give it the core components, but step out of it differently.
But I think it's just basically from Tim Burton's thing, because Tim Burton does have his thing where he can, I don't know, and maybe it's either, I can't tell if it was Tim Burton or it was Johnny Depp, because I think Johnny Depp could have played a much more darker Barnabas Collins that was more closely done to the television series.
He could have, yeah.
But I guess he was riding all this eccentric stuff because he acted, like he did in Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of
slow.
But I did enjoy the whole. I love it when you see somebody that's out of their time period trying to deal, or out of their element in like normal society. And then,
he comes back in the 70s, even worse.
Yeah. Like, I love that. I see when I watch Wonder Woman, the animated in the animated universe and in the live action film, I like seeing that, how she's like making these like weird these comments, stuff she considers weird, but to us it's normal. So I did like that, and I think Dark Shadows does a good job of, like I said, maybe not particularly presenting itself like the television series does, but it was nice seeing him take on a project like this because it is a bit different from what he has done, even though it's kind of the same.
It's like Captain Jack, but a vampire.
Yeah.
But not a drunk.
Yeah, it's like if Jack Sparrow and Ichabod Crane had like a little child.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of what I was thinking.
So I really like that, and I think that goes hand in hand with the Sweeney Todd character that shows that level of depth that he can go as like, and plus I watched him in that movie Black Mass, and he was beast in that movie. We're talking about Tim Burton. But are there any other projects that you would want to see Tim Burton take on? Any upcoming films? Any actual ideas for like an actual film or something like that?
I don't know what he's got going on right now.
No, I mean just like in general. Like, do you have any like a book you want him to do it? If it was like me personally, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, if that was a live action movie,
oh my god, I don't know how that would go.
I don't know. Yeah,
that would be really freaky.
Or Where the Wild Things Are. I know they
that would be good.
I know they have a movie of it, but
yeah, that would be interesting to see. I could go with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like what was that movie? Lord of the Flies.
I hadn't seen it, but I've heard it.
Yeah, if they threw that Burton spin on that one, would be a really trippy movie.
We was talking about Christine the other day about like a remake. Can you see Tim Burton doing a remake for Christine?
You know, I probably actually could pull that off. I think he could do that one.
But,
kind of off in that weird
or darker setting.
Oh, it would be much darker.
Yeah,
very much darker.
And
I mean, of course, you know, Johnny and Helen and all them would have to show up and everything.
One of them,
she'd
probably be the mom. Johnny Depp probably be the guy that sold the car.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd all be there, you know. But no, I think he could. I think he could pull it off. I think that would be right down his alley. You just have to think, you know, in the Burton style. But see, that's why I kind of like, you know, the Big Fish. When you see Big Fish, it's kind of an odd story, but it's not gothic-y. It's not, you know, it's not the Batman-y, not the Sweeney Todd, not the just. It's just a very different style of movie, a unique style of storytelling, and it's really cool how they do it. And I think that's going to kind of like this probably similar style he made. Well, Dumbo's kind of already established. Big Fish was just something he made up, but I think it'll be along those same lines though. But definitely check out Big Fish. Like I say, it's kind of like, you know, you didn't realize Pee Wee Herman did Pee Wee's Herman Big Adventure, slapped that to the Big Fish. Story about a guy and his dad and everything about his stories of his past, and you think they're embellished stories, and it's really cool.
I got an idea for a movie that he should do.
What?
I want to see him do what's that? The werewolf series. The one we were watching, I hated it.
Vampire Diaries?
No, werewolf. What's that? What's the most prominent werewolf series? Not Ginger Snaps, it's the other one. Remember at the end of the movie, the woman turned into a werewolf in front of the...
Oh, The Howling?
Yes, I want to see him redo The Howling.
Maybe.
Because I'm sorry, I hate all of the Howling movies. I hate them all with a passion. Even the ones I ain't seen.
They had a really cool one. It was kind of like a mystery one. I don't know if it was a Howling series or not, though. I can't remember. It was actually pretty cool because it was like a mystery. I mean, yeah, you had the horror part of it, but it was like a mystery throughout the whole, until the very, 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 very end. I mean, you did not know anything that was going on to the very end of the movie.
See, like I was, like I think he could bring something like that whole dark, gothic feel to it. Like, the only one that I might have a little bit of interest in is the second one. And that's only because of old girl and her boobs in that movie. That's it. But like, I would like to see him do like a werewolf one. I'm sorry, at the end when they had that little music video and they showed her kept tearing that shirt off, you see her boobs. It's like, yes. But I would like to see him redo that one. I would like to see him do. You ever see the movie House?
The movie House?
Yeah.
No.
I think he got kicked off again. But yeah, where this like family goes to the house. The house is like haunted, and it's got like alternate dimensions in it and stuff. It's freaking weird. I seen the second one more than the first one.
No, I've never seen House.
But I know the house too. It was weird. The guy's grandpa was dead. A great grandpa. He was like alive in like the cowboy years. He was like a miner. So he came back. It's just like dead corpse. And him and his friend. And in fact, remember we watched that thing, Decker Shadow was reviewing it, and that guy that played on Cheers, the mailman, was in it. That.
Oh, okay. What about him possibly doing a version of, or what was I gonna say, Creep Show, or
yeah, I wouldn't mind him doing a Creep Show either.
Or Tales from the Crypt.
I could see him doing that. He definitely got the eye for it. He definitely got the eye for that. I would actually oh, okay. I see. That's what you're talking about. All right. Well, we're getting close to the end anyway, so I'll just go ahead and lay out my final things. I would also like to see him overlooking the Dark Monsterverse that was supposed to happen, but we don't know if it's going to happen now because the Mummy ended up flopping. So I would like to see him do that. I definitely like to see him do that.
I would like to see, all his other characters, like he want to do that whole cinematic universe. I really wish that would happen. That would be cool.
And one other film, I'm sorry, is on my list. Chud. I want to see him redo Chud.
Chud 1, Chud 2?
Chud 1. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a bit about these, for those who don't know, it's about these people that were mutated by these chemicals this company threw in the sewers. So they mutated into these creatures, and of course they was hunting people and dragging them in the sewers and eating the shit out of them and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing him go that direction. Like I said, he does typically stick to a certain format, but when he does presentation of it, he does it really good. Although Alice in Wonderland was a lot of CGI. But yes, we'll get Ken back in a few. But yes, that's our best and worst thing with Tim Burton. Really, he hasn't really done anything bad.
Not to me.
Not to me really either. But Ken said he didn't like his Charlie the Chocolate Factory. So, but anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let us know what are your favorite and least favorite Tim Burton films, the ones that he's directed. Also, let us know what you would like to see him direct, whether it be a remake of something, an original idea, or rebooting something. Just let us know in the comment section below. And be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button to get the best of what we got going on this channel, because we do upload videos every week. So y'all stay tuned for them, and we will definitely catch you guys later.